Town Board reorganization meeting. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Jeff Renahan, First Ward.
Phil Carlos, Second Ward.
Ann Berger, Third Ward.
Michael Stone, Fourth Ward.
Stefan Krakow, Fifth Ward.
Ann Schurshin, Sixth Ward.
Felicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Jim Nelson, attorney for the town.
John Baisley, Town Supervisor. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's meeting. We have a rather long agenda. First item on the agenda is appoint the town attorneys. The second item is adopt non-union salary schedule. Number 3 is adopt the registrars for 2022-2023. 4 is appoint a deputy registrar and sub-registrar for 2022-2023. 5 is appoint the emergency chain of command for 2022. 6, appoint the emergency interim successors for 2022. 7, appoint the marriage officers for 2022-2023. 8, appoint the comptroller for 2022-2023. 9, appoint records access management officer 2022-2023. 10, appoint records management advisory board. 11, appoint the town historian. 12, appoint town delegate Association of Towns. 13, appointment ZBA. 14, appointment CAC. 15, appointment of planning board. 16, appointment to tri-municipal sewer commission. 17, appointment full-time senior clerk in planning. 18, promotion deputy comptroller. 19, promotion senior planner. 20, designation of official newspaper 2022-2023. 21, designation of official banks 2022. 22, adopt the 2022 official holiday schedule. 23, designation 2022 town board meeting schedule. 24, adopt the 2022 highway rental rates. 25, approve and adopt 2022 highway supplies. 26, authorize the 2022 agreement to expand highway funds. 284 agreement. 27, adopt the rules of the town board. 28, bonds for town officials. 29, adjustment of the holiday schedule of our highway department due to leaf pickup. 30, authorize business mileage reimbursement. 31 has been withdrawn. 32, authorize the supervisor to sign a Washington Hollow Rod and Gun Club agreement. 33, authorize the supervisor to invest in a New York class. 34, authorize the supervisor to sign dog control housing agreement. 35, authorize the supervisor to sign grant writing service agreement. 36, authorize Omega Real Estate Holdings LLC tax cert. 37, authorize the supervisor to sign ambulance service agreement with Mobile Life Support Services, Inc. 38, resolution senior and disability exemption executive order. 39, authorize highway department the purchase of a Tarco leaf machine. 40, authorize the supervisor to execute a conditional realty purchase agreement. 40B, reimbursement of the town for potential bond proceeds. 40C, retention of consultant for potential purchase. 40D is removed. 41, notification of claim. Garcia versus the town, Singe versus the town, Quam Donfay versus the town, Smith versus the town, Smith Bush versus the town, Riviera versus the town. That's the list of Did you say 40C is removed? 40D is removed. 40D.
You didn't have it anyway, the paperwork, so just so you know.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend rules for any item on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody who would like to speak on any item that is on the agenda?
Jay, I had my hand raised.
Go ahead, Doreen.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so Jay, can you briefly run down about item number 40 about the potential purchase of Poughkeepsie Day School? So tonight you're only allocating money to do your due diligence, but can you just briefly say how this will work, what the process is? Like, does it go up to vote after this? Can you just give a little background on this?
Yeah, Doreen, this gives us our due diligence period. Once we sign, I'm pretty sure it's 150 days. It gives our due diligence to see if it's going to fit, do a seeker during that process to see where we go from there. And then we'll be signing a contract to see where it goes through the due diligence process, if we're going to purchase it or not. We've hired a consultant to go in, look at the school, look at the structure of the school, and to see if what we want to put on the school, using the information from the study that we did a few years ago, if what we want will fit in that spot prior to actually purchasing the school.
Okay, and will like the final purchase, does that have to go to a vote before the voters?
No, but it will be subject to permissive referendum.
The bond issue under the local finance law is subject to permissive referendum. And that's the bond issue that
Yeah.
would make this purchase possible.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Dory. Anybody else? Not motion to resume the rules?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jeff?
Ready? Be it resolved that the town board finds pursuant to town procurement policy, Article 3C, that it is in the best interest of the town to reappoint Vanderwater and Vanderwater LLP as attorneys to the town of Poughkeepsie pursuant to Town Law 22B for 2022 without the solicitation of alternate proposals, and does hereby designate it to provide such legal services at Town Hall, at town board meetings, and by telephone consultations for $111,000 to provide the balance of the required legal services at the rate of $193 per hour for partners, $181 per hour for associates, and $96 for paralegals, subject to a shared annual cap of $65,000, together with zoning and planning board, pass-through funded services as requested, and to represent the town in litigation matters as separately assigned from time to time, and tax surcharges at $201 for partners, $180 for associates, and $96 per hour for paralegals. So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you very much.
Resolution 1C. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby find that it is in the best interest of the town pursuant to the town procurement policy, Article 3C, to authorize the supervisor to sign a labor and employment legal services letter agreement for the year 2022 between the town of Poughkeepsie and Brooke D. Youngworth of the law firm of Mackey, Butts and Wise at the rate of $196 per hour for attorneys, $111 an hour for paralegals, and on substantially the same terms as 2021, without solicitation of alternative proposals, and does hereby authorize the execution of said agreement. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions on this one?
Was that C or B?
That's C.
C.
The C.
Okay,
Oh,
all right,
we did
just
not, I
checking.
did not
Yeah,
receive
yeah.
a B. That's, I don't know what
We don't
happened.
have a B.
I have a B. We didn't
I
even,
don't.
No, B either.
At least you can pass a B
I'm
then.
not quite
we'll
sure
do
what
it.
happened with that.
Maybe you want to vote on that one and then?
Yeah, we'll vote on this one first.
Ms.
All those in
Berger,
favor?
do we?
Aye.
Opposed?
They have one down there.
1C passes 7-0.
Okay, I got a C here.
We
No,
just,
that was C.
we need B.
No, I got a B here.
That's what we
Oh,
need.
okay.
Go ahead, Bill.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, be it resolved that for the 2022,
happened.
the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby find pursuant to town procurement policy, Article 3C, that is in the best interest of the town to reappoint Wallace & Wallace LLP pursuant to Section 22B of the town law to act as attorney for the town without solicitation of alternate proposals, and does not reappoint it to provide services for code enforcement advice and litigation in the town of Poughkeepsie town courts regarding zoning, noise control, animal control, building code control and violations, parking violations, and vehicle and traffic enforcement at the rate of $175 per hour, subject to an annual maximum cap of $60,000 from the legal department budget line, with any surplus reverting to the general fund at the end of the year 2022, together with zoning board and planning board pass-through funded services at the rate of $193 per hour for partners of counsel and senior associate attorneys, $181 per hour for associates, and $96 per hour for paralegals, and zoning and planning board matters at those rates subject to a shared cap of $65,000 per year. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Now we're up to 2.
2. Yep.
Be resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve and adopt the non-union salary schedule for the year 2022, a copy of which is attached here to and incorporated herein. So moved.
Second.
We got a motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. And do the next one. He doesn't have the
Okay,
resolution.
that's fine. Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Felicia Salvador as Register for the Town of Poughkeepsie for the period of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, at a stipend which is included in the Town Clerk's annual budget. So moved.
Second.
We have motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby confirm the appointments of Jessica Moran as the Deputy Registrar and Melissa Lawson as Sub-Registrar for the Town of Poughkeepsie for the period of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, at a stipend which is included in the Town Clerk's annual budget. So moved.
Second.
Good motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint the following individuals as the emergency chain of command for the year 2022, to wit: number 1, John J. Baisley; number 2, Mark Pfeiffer; number 3, Jeffrey Renahan. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 6. Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint the following individuals as emergency interim successors for the year 2022, as requested by the Dutchess County Department of Emergency Response, and does hereby specify their rank and order of succession as listed. The following individuals: 1, Mark Pfeiffer; 2, Jeff Renahan; 3, Bill Carlos. And be it further resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized and empowered to execute the emergency interim successor designation form and to return it to the D.C. Department of Emergency Response. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 7? Do I
Yep.
have to say? Okay. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint John J. Baisley and Aaron Shearshin as a marriage officers for the years 2022 and 2023 pursuant to New York State Domestic Relations Law 11-C, Marriage Officers, Chapter 49 of the Laws of 1988, whereby said marriage officers will have the authority to solemnize marriages. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby reappoint Charles M. Berger to the position of Comptroller for the Town of Poughkeepsie for the period of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, at the salary set forth in the annual budget. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby reaffirm the appointment of Felicia Salvador as the Records Access Officer Management for the Town of Poughkeepsie for the years 2022 and 2023 at a stipend which is included in the annual budget. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby reaffirming the appointment of Rebecca Sanarani to Records Management Advisory Board for a 3-year term which expires December 31st, 2024, and Felicia Salvatore to the Records Management Advisory Board for a 2-year term which expires December 31st, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
I just got appointed twice.
Be resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint John Pennant as the Town Historian for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. So moved.
Excuse me, I thought we were changing this to a 2-year term.
No, we'll leave it at 1 year.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 12. Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint John J. Baisley as the delegate to the Association of Towns, and be it further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize and approve the attendance of all elected and non-elected officials with prior Town Board approval to the annual meeting of the Association of Towns. So moved.
Second.
Been a motion and second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 13, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Anthony Gates to the position of the Town of Poughkeepsie Zoning Board of Appeals, which appointment effective January 1st, 2022, and would expire on December 31st, 2028. So moved.
Second.
Been a motion and second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board for the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby reappoint Lorraine Marabella, Susan Carnes Heck, and Pamela Kingsley to the Conservation Advisory Commission for a 2-year term, which term will run from January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023. So moved.
Second.
A motion and second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept the reappointment of Carl Whitehead to serve on the Poughkeepsie Planning Board through December 31st, 2028. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby reappoint John J. Baisley and Jeffrey Renahan to the Tri-Municipal Sewer Commission for the year 2022 and 2023. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby provisionally appoint Rachel Peter to the position of full-time senior clerk with the Town of Poughkeepsie Plan Department at grade 6, step 2, salary of $23.4026 per hour, which appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 8 nor more than 26 weeks per civil service law, effective January 3rd, 2022. And be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Welcome aboard.
Resolution number 18, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby promote Jessica Servideo to the position of Deputy Controller with the Town of Poughkeepsie Controller Department, effective January 1st, 2022, at an annual salary of $85,000. Such promotion being subject to a probationary period of not less than 8 or more than 26 weeks per civil service law. And be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this promotion. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 19, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby promote Kristen Taylor to the position of Senior Planner with the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Department, effective January 1st, 2022, at an annual salary of $76,500, which promotion being subject to a probationary period of not less than 8 nor more than 26 weeks per civil service law. And be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this promotion. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby designate the Poughkeepsie Journal as the official newspaper for the Town of Poughkeepsie for the period of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby designate the following banks as the official banks for the Town of Poughkeepsie for the period January 1st, 2022, December 31st, 2022, to wit: Key Bank, Chase JP Morgan Bank, TD Bank, Salzburg Bank, Signature Bank. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby declare and adopt the following official holidays for the year 2022, to wit: New Year's Day, Friday, December 31st, 2021. Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 17th, 2022. President's Day, Monday, February 21st, 2022. Memorial Day, Monday, May 30th, 2022. Independence Day, Monday, July 4th, 2022. Labor Day, Monday, September 5th, 2022. Columbus Day, Monday, October 10th, 2022. Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. Veterans Day, Friday, November 11th, 2022. Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 24th, 2022. Day after Thanksgiving, Friday, November 25th, 2022. Christmas Day, Monday, December 26th, 2022. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie has determined that a regular meeting of the board shall be held on the first and third Wednesday of each month, with a committee of the whole meeting to be held on the second Wednesday of each month for the year 2022, unless otherwise noted. Now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby adopt the 2022 Town Board's meeting schedule, a true copy of which is attached hereto and incorporated herein. And be it further resolved, said meeting shall be at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, and shall commence at 7 p.m. unless otherwise noted. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 24. Whereas proposals were solicited for the Highway Department rental rates for the year 2022, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve and adopt the Highway Department rental rates for the year 2022, per the recommendations of the Superintendent of Highways, true copies of which are on file in the Town Clerk's office for public inspection. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 25, whereas bids were solicited for highway supplies for the year 2022, and whereas said bids were received and open, now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby award the bids for highway supplies for the year 2022, per the recommendations of the Highway Superintendent as outlined in the documentation attached hereto and made a part hereof. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize, adopt, and approve the execution of an agreement pursuant to Section 284 of New York State Highway Law to expend town highway funds in 2022 according to the terms and conditions set forth herein, a true copy of which is attached hereto and made a part thereof. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby adopt the Annex Rules of the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, a copy of which is attached hereto and incorporated herein. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby declare and direct that the bonds for all town officials be continued in the same manner as heretofore established with the same force and effect. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby adjust the holiday schedule for the Highway Department due to its leaf pickup commitments on Election Day and Veterans Day as follow. Election Day, November 8th, 2022, changed to August 4th, 2022. And Veterans Day, November 11th, 2022, changed to December 23rd, 2022. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 30. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby continue the amount paid for business mileage reimbursement at the current IRS rate. So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 32, Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to execute a license agreement with Washington Hollow Rod and Gun Club, Inc., for use by the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department for target practice for an annual fee of $2,700 and substantially the Form Annex, which agreement shall be in effect from January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. So moved.
Second.
A motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to invest with the New York Cooperative Liquid Asset Securities System and to execute the necessary municipal corporation agreement and such other documents that are necessary to allow these investments. So moved.
Second?
We have a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to sign a dog control housing agreement with Dutchess County SPCA for the period of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022, in substantially the form annexed, and be it further resolved, the Town Board further finds that it would not be in the best interest of the town to solicit alternative proposals or quotation for such service, and be further resolved, the Town Board finds that this is a type 2 action requiring no environmental review. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board finds that it would be in the best interest of the town and does hereby authorize the supervisor to execute a contract between the Town of Poughkeepsie and Millennium Strategies LLC to provide grant writing services without the solicitation of additional proposals pursuant to the Town Procurement Policy, Article 3C, which contract will be in effect from December 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2022, and renewable from year to year as agreed by the parties in substantially the form as presented. So moved.
Second.
The motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the settlement of the tax certiorari proceeding instituted by Omega Real Estate Holdings LLC for property located at 2064 through 2068 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, 6159-03-429-0000 and 6159-03-445442-0000 for the 2020 and 2021 tax assessment rolls as shown on the attached consent judgment, and be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor or his designee, Town Assessor Jennifer Mund and Kyle Bennett of Vandewater and Vandewater LLP to sign such papers as are necessary to effectuate said settlement. So moved.
Second.
The motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 37. Whereas Mobile Life Support Services, Inc. has agreed to continue to provide ambulance service for the New Hamburg Ambulance District for the cost of $38,832 for the calendar year 2022 and $44,656 for the calendar year 2023. And be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to execute 2-year extension agreement in substantially the form annexed and on the terms acceptable to the supervisor and the attorney for the town with Mobile Life Support Services, Inc. for ambulance service for the New Hamburg Ambulance District for the calendar years 2022 and 2023. And be it further resolved that the Town Board finds this is a Type 2 action requiring no environmental review. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 38. Whereas the state of New York has adopted legislation providing that senior citizen and disability real property tax exemptions appearing on the 2021 tax assessment rolls will be continued on the 2022 assessment rolls without necessity of application, provided, however, that municipalities may require owners to apply for a continuation of exemption if an assessor believes that a property no longer qualifies for exemption. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Poughkeepsie Assessor Jennifer Mund be and is hereby authorized to require the filing of senior citizen and disability exemption renewal application if she believes that a property may no longer be eligible for exemption, and if it is determined by the assessor of the property is in fact no longer eligible, to remove the exemption effective as of the date of the assessor's determination of ineligibility. And be it further resolved that this town board determines that the adoption of this resolution is a type 2 action requiring no SEQRA review. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the Town of Poughkeepsie Highway Department wishes to purchase a Tarco Typhoon 1014 DR leaf machine from the Ty Metal Corp. of Greenwich, New York. Whereas Ty Metal is the sole source provider for this item because it can be attached to and removed from our truck bodies, freeing up the trucks for off-season use because by design it is uniquely adapted to use with our department's hook lift trucks, and because the department owns 3 interchangeable Tarco units, and the purchase of a unit from another manufacturer would not be interchangeable with them. Now therefore be it resolved that the recommendation of the Highway Superintendent, Pfeiffer, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the Supervisor or Highway Superintendent to execute such documents as are required to purchase 1 Tarco Typhoon 1014 DR leaf machine through the Ty Metal Corporation for $108,237, and be it further resolved that the contract is exempt from the town's purchasing policy pursuant to Article VC, and because it is an equipment purchase, it is a type 2 action requiring no secret review. So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions? Just like to make a comment that this is being purchased under the Municipal Innovation Grant money, probably about 80% of it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie has continued to consider its options for relocation of town facilities, including the Town Hall, Police Court Facility, and other town office pursuant to Resolution 715 SC Number 1 of 2020, has executed an amended and non-binding letter of intent for the potential facility site was by Resolution 12-8 5 of 2021, authorized the retention of Mitchell and Associates to conduct an evaluation of the potential site, and this day will consider resolutions to retain other professionals whose services will be necessary for the site evaluation and environmental review, which must precede the effectiveness of a binding and non-conditional purchase contract, if one is approved. And whereas the town board has considered the benefits of the location, the economic value, and the range of potential improvements which could result from the town purchasing the Poughkeepsie Day School land and buildings, now therefore be resolved that the supervisor as designee are authorized to execute a contract with Poughkeepsie Day School, Inc. to conditionally procure its 34.17 plus or minus acres of land and buildings located at 244 Boardman Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, for $8 million, substantially pursuant to the terms annexed, and be further resolved that because the execution of this contract affords the town the ability to continue its due diligence effort and will not commit the town to a future course of action until it has completed its site due diligence, concluding a secret review resulting in a negative declaration, qualified for and closed its public financing for the transaction on acceptable terms, and other conditions of the contract annexed have been met, no secret review is required at this time pursuant to 6 NYCRR 618.5 C27 and otherwise. So moved.
Second.
Been a motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Jay, finally, 2 years, almost 3, to get to this point.
In many, many different properties and buildings we looked at.
Oh, yeah.
We're not there yet. This is a starting process of doing our due diligence to see if this is going to fit. And we
Good
hope it
job.
does. We hope it does.
Good job.
At the regular meeting of the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie, Dutchess County, New York, held at Town Hall in Poughkeepsie, New York, in said town on the 5th day of January 2022, o'clock p.m. prevailing time. This meeting was called to order by John Baisley, and upon roll being called, there were present Councilman Renahan, Councilman Carlos, Councilwoman Berger, Councilman Safone, Councilman Krakauer, Councilperson Shershin. The following resolution, which is attached as Exhibit A hereto, is incorporated herein, and the town board is hereby waive a verbatim reading of it and does direct that it be spread across the record if it has been in fact read verbatim. It had been offered by John Baisley, who moved its adopted, seconded by
Me?
Which one? Who is it?
Mike Safone.
Oh,
To
Mike,
it.
okay.
The following resolution was duly put up to a vote, which resulted as follows.
Councilman Renahan?
Aye.
Councilman Carlos?
Aye.
Councilwoman Berger?
Aye.
Councilman Safone?
Aye.
Councilman Krakauer?
Aye.
Councilwoman Shershin? Aye. Supervisor Baisley?
Aye.
Is there an E at the end of your name, Ann? Let's get that over with.
There is.
Okay, thank you.
Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, and look forward to working with everybody and hopefully bring this to fruition.
Whereas the town board has today authorized execution of a contract to conditionally purchase the Poughkeepsie Day School land and building for use as a potential site for a new town hall, police and court facility, and other town offices. And whereas the necessary contractual due diligence include environmental, financial, architectural, engineering, legal, and other reviews will require the assistance of various professionals. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Poughkeepsie hereby retains CPL Architecture and Engineering to provide environmental and engineering services at the rates provided in its contract for special assigned duties, Munistat to provide financial advisor services at its standard bond and charges, Orrick, Harrington, and Sutcliffe LLP, Douglas Goodfriend Counsel, to act as bond counsel at a fee based on the amount borrowed under the general obligation debt fee schedule in effect in the year of the borrowing. Vandewater and Vandewater LLP, attorneys to the town to represent the town on environmental, transactional, and related matters at the rate set forth in the retention resolution. And be it further resolved that the prior authorization to retain Mitchell and Associates as architects is modified to also include its participation in the required environmental review, the provision of scanning of the existing structure, visual representation and renderings, and a site plan sufficient for environmental analysis at a total additional cost of $13,800, including elevations, and be it further resolved that agreements for this work do not require environmental review because it is preliminary, and a full environmental review of the potential project will be conducted. And be it further resolved that given the familiarity with these providers with this project and town's general processes, it would be in the best interest of the town not to request other proposals. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions on those? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
40D has been removed. Okay, notification. The following notice of claims have been referred to legal. Garcia versus the town, Singh versus the town, Kwame Donfrey versus the town, Smith versus the town, Smith Bush versus the town, and Riviera versus the town.
That brings us to the end of our agenda. Supervisor's appointment as deputy supervisor will be Mike Safone, and I've passed out committee assignments to everybody to review, and we can discuss them as it goes along. And the town clerk's appointment are deputy town clerk, 1, Jessica Moran, and 2, Melissa Lawson. That brings us to the end of our agenda. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any item involving the town business, and ask everybody that does speak to please hold it to 3 minutes, please.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody that would like to speak?
Bill Crane on Zoom, then we'll.
Mr. Crane? Mr. Crane, can you unmute yourself?
Bill, on Zoom, can you unmute yourself? Bill Crane.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The Vassar College is planning to cull more deer on their farm this year, and I want to make a comment on that. The deer play with each other when they grow up. Their mothers are totally devoted to their care. They have emotions. Each has his or her individual personality, and they want to live as much as we do. I think a college like this in a town like ours should support and respect other living beings. We can't make decisions about who should live and die as if we were God. We're not. The cull is supposed to prevent damage to vegetation due to browsing. The evidence on browsing and vegetation damage is not very clear in general. And a few years ago, environment class at Vassar actually found that there was not much at the farm, much damage. That's not a publishable study or anything, but it's indicative of the need for more research. And especially instead of killing, they should engage in contraception. Let's not be so quick to kill other living things, other living beings. Let's learn to live in harmony with them. I hope that the board will reflect on this and tell Vassar College that it should explore humane alternatives to killing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crane. Is there anybody else on Zoom?
Anybody else on
Yep.
Zoom? Carrie?
Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I just want to second what Bill Crane was saying. I've been a part of the Save Our Deer for the last couple of years, and I don't see any headway being made with this. It's very concerning to me that we would bait deer with apples and corn and kind of draw them in. They may not even be coming to that area, but once they see some food, they're going to keep coming back. And then to have high power rifles being fired in residential areas is also very concerning to me. And I don't know how Vassar College has all this power over the town of Poughkeepsie and city of Poughkeepsie residents. So I'm very concerned that this is an ongoing problem. And I feel like the town, just kind of kowtows to Vassar College. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to just comment on that, last comment.
Wait till the end to go comment. Let everybody speak, because I think there's more, yeah.
Anybody else on Zoom?
Yeah.
Doreen?
Hi, thank you. So, yeah, it was almost a year to the day that town board was discussing this. It was January 6th of last year. I remember Councilman Krakauer saying that he hoped we don't end up at the same time next year having the same discussion, and that's what's happening. And first of all, they bait, they jacklight, they shoot from vehicles. Some years to anybody else that would be poaching, but it's okay because Vassar says they need to do this. And also, Vassar keeps saying that, and there are emails from various Vassar officials that, if they're feeding the hungry. Well, first of all, the permit requires, if you're doing one of these deer kills, that the deer killed must be given to a venison donation program. So Vassar can tout that they're feeding the hungry, but it's really a permit requirement. And Vassar has a $1.38 billion, that's $1 billion endowment. So if they're so worried about feeding the hungry, they can donate like I do to Dutchess Outreach and the food pantry of the Hudson Valley, and that would be a good way to feed the hungry. I'd also like to say there's less deer in our yard. I know I said this last year, it's the same thing this year. We have a wooded lot, and we frequently would have deer bedding down in many areas on our property, and that is not the case last year or this year, and it could potentially be due to the hemorrhagic disease, the EHD. So there's less deer. So, and if they weren't, baiting them, I don't know how many they would have on the farm. And I have to say that I find this somewhat hypocritical. I mean, can you imagine, let's say if the NRA owned a property next to, Vassar, and they wanted to be, coming in and shooting with high-powered rifles in, residential areas. I think Vassar would be creating an uproar over it. But again, because it's Vassar College, it's okay to do. So it's disappointing that, no progress has been made from, last year, and we are ending up having the same discussion as a year ago, and I don't know that any progress has been made. Thank you.
Thank you.
Doreen, if I could just say a couple, it's not being done with the blessing of the town. We did meet with Vassar, we discussed it. I raised my objections to it. It is something that they are permitted to do, and the town, I don't believe, has the ability to stop them. So it's not being done with ROK. Vassar's just doing it. So
Yeah, I didn't say that, Stefan, but thank you for clarifying. Yeah.
No, I know. I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay.
One of the other people commented about it happening. I just want to make clear it's not something the town has worked with Vassar to get done, and we have raised our concerns over the years, and in over the past year we did meet with them to talk about it, but we don't unilaterally have the ability to stop them, as far as I know.
Anybody else on Zoom? There's a few people in the audience that want to speak.
Who's next?
Whomever.
I've been walking over Vassar Farm probably 25 years, walk a dog, different dogs.
And your name, I'm sorry.
Dick Smith,
Okay.
3 to 5 miles, 5-6 days a week. And back in the beginning, I would come across deer carcasses, a leg, whatever, because there was a lot of coyotes there. And then, I forget if they were under one of the barns or something, but somehow Vassar got rid of the coyotes. And then started getting more and more deer coming in. And right now, where is it over there? Right now, over Vassar, they have the camouflage bunker thing set up. And they have one set up, that there's a trail there, a flat trail, and I've trained the dog, she don't go after them, but we'd come across deer giving birth there, in that area, that 1 mile thing. So I noticed maybe 2 years ago, they would have classes, 15 kids talking and yelling, and they'd be going back into that area. And so I think the deer really started to get used to the sound and smell of the humans, and they felt very safe there. Well, this, I'll show you a picture of it. This bunker thing, when you first go into Vassar Farm, for about 200 yards, that's in the city of Poughkeepsie. Then there's a gate, that's the town. Well, I understand last year, within 2 feet, they had one of those bunkers there. And the city found out about it. And the next day, the Vassar withdrew the USDA, and they sent all the shooters home. Well, as of this afternoon, there's one back in that same spot again. I mean, just the arrogance of not paying any attention to whatever you people say is just unbelievable. And I don't know, do I supposed to call the city of Poughkeepsie and say, hey, that thing is back there again? I didn't call the first time, but somebody did, because the city has no agreement with nobody, no rifles in the city of Poughkeepsie. And they would have it so they only shoot at night, but the farm was open during the day. And then I'd walk and I'd see 6 spots where they put out buckets of corn kernels. Well, it's my understanding this time of the year, the deer can't digest that kernel. If it's cracked corn, it's okay, but regular corn, that'll just sit in their stomach, especially little deer. And I know hunters that have killed doe and bucks, and the stomach is full of this undigestible corn. And I understand that in maybe like 3 weeks or so, a young little deer could die of starvation because nothing would go past that big wad of corn in their stomach. So it's a very cruel way of doing something. Other colleges and places, they shoot darts that makes the deer sterile for like up to 3 years. And then the dart falls off. Other places use strobe lights to excite them, make them moving around and so forth. And this year, again, or maybe it was last year, they started that, they closed the whole farm down, even during the day. And so we walk on the campus, in the woods and so forth. And I came across at the end of that Sunset Lake there, there's woods, and there was a deer stand there. You know, I could show you these things. And that pallet that's up in the deer stand, there's a close-up here, is a Vassar College no parking lumber is holding up the pallet. So a week before Christmas, I told them about it. I went into the main building. I said, hey, look, you got this. In fact, I had an iPhone, so I sent them right in front of me. They put the pictures on their iPhone. You know, and I don't know if there's not enough. Well, this year I see typically maybe 4 deer, 5 deer. And there used to be, you know, a lot more that we'd walk, because she would smell them or they would smell us. And those 4 deer are always in that same area. They're not up on the tall part, they're not down by the ponds or streams, because that's like a birthing place. And so I showed them this picture a week before Christmas, and today I went there and it's finally down. But I don't know if they had anything to do with, you know, if they wanted to shoot this is on the campus property, or if some kid did it. But what I'm getting at is it took like at least 2 weeks to get rid of it. They were accepting it. They didn't care about it. And this is a picture of the deer blind. That was like last week, but I went there today. I didn't bother to take a picture, but it's maybe the length of this room is where the entrance to this trail where the birthing center is. And it used to be a skinny trail, and over the years, from the 4x4s and then trucks, it became a muddy dirt road. So they put planks on 4x4s so the kids won't get their feet muddy as they go over there. And I don't know, other than disturbing them, I don't know what they're doing there, because they're making, you know, they're not very quiet about it or anything. So, the deer is one thing, but just the arrogance of this college. They get $14,800 government money for each undergraduate student. So that's my tax money, federal money, is supporting this college in a sense. And they just don't care about nothing. I don't know if they are up to, because now there's crossbows that are high powered, you know, you can put scope on them. So I don't know if they're still using rifles or what they're using, and they never disclose how many animals they get.
Dick, your time's up, sadly.
Okay.
Sorry.
You want to take this?
Sure.
Thank you.
So the tree stand one is, like I say, no longer there, but the bunker ones is what was there last year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Larry, how do you spell your last name?
T-R-E-P as in Peter, E-L. Okay, thank you for,
If you could speak in the mic, that'd be great.
Thank you for this opportunity to talk about this. I want to speak about the Vassar deer killing. That is, of course, happening right now. And last year, Supervisor Baisley announced at a meeting that the scheduled killing was canceled. While details of the cancellation were not given, Mr. Baisley did talk about the death of many area deer from epizootic hemorrhagic disease, or EHD. And this lowered the population substantially in Poughkeepsie, including at the preserve. Well, in 2021, the effects of EHD continued, and in September, the DEC reported on their own page here that, and they said that consequently it has been more widespread this year than during previous outbreaks, and they specifically bring up Dutchess County as well. Students and other observers have uniformly told me that there have been very few deer in the preserve this year, all year. Now that leads to my observations about how Vassar continues to deceive and manipulate information in order to justify their killings. Here's a classic example. In their request for approval by the DEC in 2009 to stage the killing in January 2020, they submitted this deer density chart. These papers are also in the things that you have. Thank you. They submitted this deer density chart. Well, in the chart, the blue bars show observed deer, and the orange bars added on top are the number of deer they killed. They often used an aviation infrared flyover to come up with the observed number, which is a questionable method itself. In 2018, the flyover resulted in a count of just 20 deer. First, note that this is referred to as per square mile. Well, the preserve is 450 acres, which is actually just 2/3 of a square mile. So that means they likely inflated the number, and the true number of observed deer was 20 by, in that case, was 20 by 0.65, or just 13 deer. That would be true of all the years on this chart. They also make the point that in 2019, they were unable to do a flyover, so they decided to just do an estimate based on their ground cameras, which even they admit are very scarce and inaccurate. So where did they come up with the estimate of 50 deer per square mile? That's the last one that you see on here. They basically just made it up. That's how they got it. So they state that this chart shows the density of deer that were removed with the density that was observed, and by adding these numbers together, they can estimate the deer density on the preserve prior to management. Management, of course, means killing, but how can they call this count accurate when they do their observation after weeks of baiting deer into the preserve? Keep in mind that deer don't just exclusively live on the preserve. They travel back and forth to other areas as well. As everyone knows, they cross roads. We all know this. By luring them in with food, they are purposely increasing the number. And it is illegal for citizens to feed deer like this. Currently on their website, Vassar is claiming they did another infrared flyover in January 2021 and counted 36 animals. Odd that they say animals, not deer, and again they claim that the estimate is per square mile. Vassar loves to call all this science. They are determined to use any method they can to eliminate as many deer as possible, deer that live both inside and outside the preserve. And this is further revealed by looking at the email exchange between the Vassar Preserve Director and the USDA officer. The Vassar Director writes, "We're requesting 45 tags, and we would like to start baiting December 23rd. I know the number of tags is optimistic. They were awarded their 45 tags last year, a dream come true, and no doubt more than the number of observed deer.
Fortunately, that killing was canceled under pressure last year. This year, it is absolutely sickening to see Vassar maximizing the number of deer killed by baiting them with corn and apples weeks before the USDA shooters come in. The killing's already started, but it is within your power to stop it. So I'd like to ask each board member to reply tonight. First, were you aware that Vassar was staging this deer killing again? Because I think, in truth, Vassar did not inform anybody. And two, would you act immediately to stop the shooting and killing, which is cruel, it's unwarranted, and it's dangerous to the many local residents and students that are actually happen to still be on campus?
Thank you.
Thank you, and I would love to hear answers, if possible.
Anybody have comments?
Does anyone
Well-
else want to speak?
No? Anybody else want to speak first, and the board can answer when they want?
Anybody else want to come up? Go ahead.
Come on up.
My name is Marcy Schwartz. I'm a lawyer. I'm the founder of Save Our Deer, which is a grassroots organization. I did send you all a letter by email today. I hope you received it. If you didn't, I only have a couple to give out. I don't know if anybody would, let me put my mask back on.
I'll read it when I get home. Thank you.
Okay. We are begging you to put a stop, an immediate halt to the killing that started last night. And I think it was Mr. Carlos who said that you don't have the power to do so. You have the power to do so. In fact, I would go so far to say it is incumbent upon you to do so. Let me start with the preliminary explication that what Vassar is doing is not hunting. Hunting is not allowed on Vassar Farm. For obvious reasons, it's surrounded by houses. Vassar kills by rifle. Rifle hunting is not allowed in Dutchess County, only hunting by shotgun. As Larry said, Vassar puts out a ton of corn, and then this year they added the nice touch of apples to bring deer from without the farm onto the farm specifically to kill them. Baiting deer is an illegal hunting practice, and we have had surprisingly many hunters come to protests we've held and say, I find that disgusting. We would never do that. We would never bait a deer. But let me get down to the legalities. Vassar is not hunting. Instead, it receives a deer damage permit from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. On the permit itself, it says, and I'm going to read it, permittee and agents must abide by local firearms discharge ordinances or obtain a written waiver from local authorities. The town of Poughkeepsie has such an ordinance regarding guns that would prevent this killing. The ordinance is Noise Ordinance, Part 2, Chapter 139-4, Section M. It explicitly bans, and I quote, the use or firing of explosives, firearms, or similar devices so as to create unreasonable noise. Chapter 139-5 further explicates what is considered a violation of the noise ordinance by looking at decibels. And here it says that between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m., anything over 60 decibels would be considered in violation of this ordinance. Well, although Vassar touts the fact that the rifle shooters, and there are multiple, there is not just one, use silencers, the fact is that suppressors cannot silence the explosive bang of rifle fire and can only marginally suppress a gun blast. That means that with each rifle shot, the decibel level is 140 to 165, which is more than double the permissible 60 decibel level. It is for this reason that Vassar is violating town law when it is out there shooting off its rifles in Vassar Farm. And it is, from my view, incumbent on the town to call them up and put a stop to it, because their permit is subject to the town ordinance, which Vassar's definitely violating. There's no question about it. I would like to also touch upon something that Larry mentioned, which is the danger to people. This is not in regard to the ordinance, but just common sense. In regard to the danger to all the residences that surround Vassar Farm, there's a couple churches, there's a couple schools. It's a very, very dangerous situation to have them out there shooting rifles. It turns out that Vassar Farm is shaped like a rectangle. And across this way, it's only 2,500 feet. That's less than half a mile. The rifle bullets the rifles that Vassar use can shoot bullets up to 2 miles away. That is why it is in true endangerment of everyone who lives around the farm, and is the common sense reason that I would ask you to consider to do the job of stopping them. But it is the legal reason that I commend to you as within your power to put a stop to this, I hate to say ridiculous because it's so deadly, but it's to this unnecessary deer kill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else?
I'd just like to add that regular hunting season has ended this year. And they,
Is there anybody else who would like to speak on any item?
Yeah, I'd like to make a,
Yes.
sorry, you want to speak on the deer thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to just say that the town does not kowtow to anybody, if I got the correct terminology that was used earlier. We have a very good working relationship with a large amount of people in the town, and when this went on last year, every one of the board members called Vassar and said, hey, we're not in favor of this, and they stopped it. Now, this year, I was not aware this was even happening, and I will gladly make a phone call tomorrow, okay? But we can only do so much, but I'm sure the population of deer, I haven't seen a large abundance of deer. I remember the first time they did a call, they came in, and there were a large number of deer that were getting hit by cars on a routine basis. So there was a need for it at one time. Over the last few years, I don't think there is a need for it, and I will address that with the president of the college tomorrow. And I'm sure a lot of the members of this board will call tomorrow. Please don't think that somebody as big as Vassar is going to just tell us what they're going to do. And if we don't know what's going on, and I appreciate everybody here that gave feedback, but we are not pushovers. If we're aware of something and if there's a way about going out of business, we do our business the proper way. That's why we're sitting here today. All right, so we will make calls and we will do our best to represent you, because that's what we do. All right? Thank you.
Felicia?
I just wanted to make a mention, I forgot about it, the fee schedule. If there's, I'd like to have somebody please make a motion to keep them as they are till like the February 2nd town board
We have to
meeting.
wait till we go back into,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
All right. Any
Sorry.
other board members have anything to say at this time? No? Sir, can I finish, please? Sir?
Okay, go ahead,
I'm
Jay.
addressing the board members, and they'll ask that question, and then we'll,
Sorry.
anybody else? have
Like I
any-
said, I spoke to Larry today on the phone. I did not know about it, so I can answer that question. I did not know about what's going on, but I will not make a decision right now on what I'm going to do until I look into it further. Just like Mike's phone says, we're not going to cater to Vassar. I don't think we have before. And like I said, I'll also call and find out what's going on myself as well.
Anybody else have any other comments? No comment, and Jim, I'll talk to you further in the morning about the laws and the rules that I don't understand. And I did know about the deer cull. And I met Vassar multiple times this year. I met the USDA representative over there. We discussed the school. We discussed the growth on the farms, and I did know what was going on. The law part I did not know about, so that's a piece I would like to look at.
Yeah, and I also was aware of it because my property abuts it, and I received the letter from Vassar about the cull, though I hadn't realized they were going ahead with it until the letter was sent out. And I also have seen a severe drop in the number of deer. I mean, I used to have 3-4 deer that would bed down in my backyard all through the fall and winter, and they are not there. I haven't seen a deer on our street in the neighborhood for, probably 2-3 months now. So that's why I was surprised that this was even going on, whether it's even necessary. And I would really like to actually see the data to see what they feel the count is this year. Because it cannot be that significant. We just aren't seeing the deer.
Anybody got anything else? If not, motion to resume the rules?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Now, Felicia.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You want me to make a motion to keep the fee schedule the same until the February meeting?
Until the February 2nd meeting, just keep it in place. I'm working with General Code to take them out, and all the departments are putting together new schedules, and just want to, I would say the next meeting, but with everybody being sick and stuff, I don't want to do it too soon. So I would say
February what? February what?
February 2nd meeting.
I'd like to make a motion that we keep the same fee schedule until the February 2nd meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Anybody got anything else? Jim, you got nothing?
No, I don't.
We'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Everybody have a great evening.